This is the Making Waves Mindset Show with your hosts, Richard Biase
and Dave Moskowitz. Learn from our journey as we share the ups and downs
of being your own boss.
We are good to go. Welcome, everyone, to another
Welcome.
fine edition of the Making Waves Mindset Show with beautiful Dave Moskowitz and yours truly.
That's right. Yours truly, Richard Biase. We need like drum rolls, right?
Yes.
Drum roll, please. Well, thanks for joining.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little awkward silence there, right?
That's okay. That's the morning groggies as we get our brains into full, pristine operating condition to speak to all of you. We hope you are all continuing to dream bigger. That is so important. We can't stress that enough. Without dreams, we lack desire, and you need those dreams to make waves in life, to rattle and splash around and to make change, which then need you to take action, right? Those are our mottos on the show. Dream bigger, make waves, and take action. Dave?
Yeah.
This is your spot right here.
It is. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in, watching us on our various platforms. We are now live and in studio, so you can see us.
Yes.
Get to know our faces, and instead of just listening to our voices. If you haven't, this is your first time subscribing, or this is your first time listening to us on a podcast, head over to one of the video platforms that we have, Rumble or YouTube.
Yeah.
Go
Search
watch
Making
our
Waves
show.
Mindset
You get
Show.
to put a face to a name and a face to a voice as well. And don't forget, please subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the videos, subscribe to the podcast. If you're enjoying it, pass it along to someone. If you don't like it, pass it to someone who might like it.
That's right.
It's important. Spread the word. There might be an episode that you're just like, yeah, you know what, you guys are not hitting the tune today. Well, pass it on to someone else. There's lots of people in your life, I'm sure, who need some motivation, who need some direction, who are potentially thinking of leaving the 9-to-5, want to listen to our journey. Send it over.
Send it over. We're a mindset show, and we encompass those ambitious people who are willing to take risk, who want to walk in the uncomfortable and are not afraid to leave the comfortable and want to make a change in their life. So whether you are considering leaving the 9-to-5, you are in the transition of leaving the 9-to-5, you want to be an entrepreneur, or you are already in business, we cover the leadership, the mental grit, the mindset, the motivation, the discipline of that journey. And we've had some incredible people on the show. So don't be afraid. Dive back to a few of the other recordings on audio. Video is available, and we have many more people lined up to come. But of course, our favorite is when Dave and I get to chat. And I know, Dave, you have a great topic today. And I love this. I love this one.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about mental toughness, grit, pushing forward. So as everyone knows, in business, in life, you're going to have times where you're down. You're going to have times where you wake up in the morning and you're like, everything's bullshit. Yeah. This is all stupid. Yeah. Why even do it? Right? You're going to wake up and you're going to be like, let's go back to bed. You know, we've talked about that kind of stuff, about making small changes. The one thing that I've noticed, and it was really evident to me over this past month, was when I was out in Costa Rica, I ended up going down a water slide, and 42-year-old me had my 22-year-old mindset going down this water slide, and the operator of the water slide asked me, how fast do I want to go?
Mm-hmm.
So you had the options of going slow, you had the options of going medium, or the option of going tsunami.
I hope you went tsunami.
Well, you know, people before me went tsunami, and I had encouragement from people in line to go tsunami. So I was like, 22-year-old me is going to go tsunami.
Let's do it.
Let's go. It's wearing a helmet. You had like an inner tube around your body. And
are you serious? The helmet?
Oh, yeah. It was wow. It was like intense. So from
gosh.
like top to bottom, it takes you like something like 4 seconds or something like that. It was like 250-meter drop.
Are we in a Back to the Future marathon here? Like what, 4 seconds?
Yeah, it was intense.
Okay.
So stupidly, I say, let's go tsunami, right? Boom. So the way it works is they dam the water. It was a natural fed water slide.
Wow.
So it was man built the water slide, but it was fed by a waterfall. So they dam the water behind you So as the water's growing and growing and growing, the more water, the faster you're going to go, right? So they dammed the water, and I guess because I'm a bigger guy, he dammed it a little further than Tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, released it. Boom! I shot out like a bullet. I've never felt my body go this fast. And I went down, and I was going around turns and everything, and I came to like the third turn and smack right against the wall. I heard a bit of a crack in my ribs.
Crack.
It was like a snap, and the wind got taken out of me.
Really?
Oh, and from there down to the bottom was a disaster. I couldn't catch my breath. I was spinning. At one point, I was on my face. Another point, I was up on the turns.
I shouldn't laugh, but this
fly
is
off.
comical, Dave. I'm
hilarious.
sorry.
It was. I'm telling you, it was. If you would have seen a video of it, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And water's flying in my face. I'm trying to breathe. It was horrible. It's like the first 2 seconds of the ride, awesome. Best time of my life. I'm like, this is amazing. Then I hit the wall. It went all downhill from there. And at the end of it, you land in this big pool of water. So mind you, I couldn't breathe because I was having a hard time breathing. So I land in this pool of water, and I'm like, I'm drowning. But then you could just stand up, right?
Yeah.
So I just stood up, and I sort of licked my wounds and walked myself out of the pool, and it wasn't fun. It was not fun. So the long story short of it all, I didn't end up breaking anything. It wasn't a broken rib or anything that I know of. I didn't end up getting an x-ray. But for those of you who know or don't know, if you do break a rib, bruise a rib, crack a rib, pull a tendon in that area, stuff like that, the process to heal, as long as there's no puncture of your lungs or shards of bone sticking into any of your organs or stuff like that, or you don't have any mucus buildup and stuff like that, the healing process is the exact same.
Really?
Rest, relax, ice, breathing exercises to expand your lungs, rib cage, and bring it back in, expand it, bring it back in. So the actual process to heal is the same no matter what. So I spoke to a couple of people who are in the know, and they said, if you want, go to the doctor, go get an x-ray. But at the end of the day, the process is going to be the same. Rest, relax, ice. 40-year-old me 2 years ago. No, let's even back it up for 1 year ago. 41-year-old me. If that would have happened to me, no more gym, no more exercise, no more, I'd be feeling sorry for myself. Probably would have eaten a whole bunch of ice cream.
Jeez.
Been on the couch for 5 to 6 weeks at least until I'm fully healed. Then I would have gotten back to the gym. 42-year-old me, different mindset, different way of thinking, mental grit, a lot stronger, mental toughness, a lot stronger, desire to move forward, stronger. Next day, got back from that trip. Next day, woke up, straight to the gym.
Good.
Obviously, I couldn't do the same stuff, right? I wasn't lifting weights, got on the elliptical, got on the rower, did what I could with what I had. Push forward, push forward, push forward. For me, that was like an epiphany. I looked back at it, and I said to myself, I can't believe how much personally I've moved forward in life from a year ago to now. I've had times where I hurt my finger, and I was like, I can't go to the gym. It was like looking for an excuse to not get yourself physically fit.
It's your mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
And I'm not saying to brag, to say, look how tough I am, look how strong I am, but what it is for myself more, that I was able to push through that small issue in my life and not let it stop me from getting to my goals that I wanted. And that to me was, I look back at it and I'm like, wow, can't believe how far I've come to where I was before.
That's so true. I think we are starting to see more of that in society. We're starting to see people who I think we've even talked about kind of that angel and the devil on each shoulder.
Yeah.
When you don't want to get up in the morning because it's cold or because you have to exercise. We've all been there, and I even remember sharing there were some mornings where I'm like, I didn't want to get up, and I was an early bird,
Right.
and I just said no. Like it's good habits lead to good discipline, and that
Yep.
leads to success.
Yeah.
And we're here in our tribe with you, our community of becoming better individuals and a stronger mindset. And I said, I have to get up because I need to lead by example.
Right.
And that constant persistence is a reminder of the importance of your mindset and having that mental grit, as you say,
Right.
that clarity. And I'm sure, we could even dive back to other things in our life where we've had very similar or other related experiences that tie into this example where you would have just given up. And I
Mhm.
think as entrepreneurs, if we just stop, like Dave, you and I even putting the show together, we had crazy hurdles,
Yeah.
and there were little things we could have just said, nah, it's too much work. I don't want to do it.
Right.
But we, instead of being or thinking like that, we came up with a plan, we put it into action, we took
Yep.
action, and we took it baby steps, and we
Yeah.
went from there. And I think that's important for our listeners as you make this transition. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
Nothing's going to be handed to you, and you need to be a little tougher than usual. That 1% effort you put in every day is going to add up to some incredible results at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I think since you and I even made that change a year ago, that enhanced our fitness and mental health well-being.
Definitely. Definitely.
I think that really changed things for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the stories that I just wanted to share and let our listeners know that it is not
We got good sound effects here, guys.
yeah. It is not always the doom and gloom, right? You need to put your mindset in a different atmosphere, in a different manner, right? You need to look at things a little differently and say to yourself, is this really the end of my journey? Is this really the point where I'm going to give up?
Yeah.
And
So true.
that to me is what I wanted to share with everyone.
What Dave, I think our listeners, for those who don't know how to handle some of these situations, what kinds of things can we share with the audience that, when that little voice is speaking about, no, it's okay, you hurt yourself, or you already worked hard, you don't need to work any harder, because we often have family and friends who will try to be like, no, you guys always are working, you're always doing this, but they don't understand that, listen, I'm in charge of my future, right? I spoke about a vision board. You and I have plans for what we want to do together and beyond. We're not going to let an outside voice try and change that, because we have the mental toughness to go, I'm not gonna pig out and have a whole bunch of cake and Coke, and I've worked so hard to get here. What types of things do you think we could share with everyone that can help them recognize it taking place and then put up that wall to be like, no, I need to do this?
I think we need to name that voice.
What do we call it?
That voice needs a name. There's derogatory names you could use. There's a whole bunch of different names you could use, but it's the voice that no one likes to hear. Mm-hmm. And what it is, and I've heard this from a whole bunch of different people, but it's the voice that's basically giving you the gift of something before you even achieve the goal.
I like that.
Right? So you're getting a present before you even graduate. Don't give yourself those presents. Don't give in to those needs or wants. Not needs, wants. Don't give in to those wants before you get to that goal. It's just probably the same reason why diets really don't work, because you're on this diet for a certain period of time and you end up getting tired of the diet. You end up getting tired of the restrictions in it, and you decide that I'm going to reward myself because I've been struggling so hard for so long. And once you reward yourself once, you're not at your goal yet, you say to yourself, oh, that was good. That felt good. Your dopamine, right? Mm-hmm. Everything's flowing in your body. You're like, oh, I could do this again. All right, well, let's go a couple more weeks and I'll reward myself again. and reward myself again and reward myself again. Whereas if you start listening to that comfort and you start listening to those presents, then you're not ever going to get your goal. It's just going to be delayed and delayed and delayed. And it's the same in every other thing. So it's not just fitness. It's not just diet. It's getting into a business. It's starting that business. It's pushing through the diversity, not listening to that voice. I wish I can come up with a name for that voice. We can we can call them, we can call it Fred. We can call it Tom. Right? It's Fred. You just name it. Name the voice. Put a name to it.
I think the important part, to your point, is recognizing when it happens, because it can happen quickly. And then the other part is just stopping what you don't want to do to reward yourself right away.
Right.
So the second you feel or recognize, hey, I have the weak side of my mind, the weak mental grit is making an appearance, it's time to stop it.
Yeah.
I think even when we look back at our journey the last year, things would have been drastically different if we didn't have that toughness, and if we didn't, if we did settle for the no's, and then what? You're not really accomplishing what you want. But I think you really want to recognize when that voice makes the appearance and how to end it. Yeah. Look at what you've done so far. Look at how far you've gone. Remind yourself of the goal and why you're doing what you're doing to keep that toughness in play. We're not talking being a savage and out of control. Like, Dave, if your legs were broken, yeah, I think, there's only so much you can do with the mental grit, but that's not what we're saying. It's just recognizing when you want to quit and give up. It's like, well, hold on a second. You said you were going to go for your bike ride for an hour and you're cutting it short because it got windy or something like that.
Right.
Or you don't want to do this assessment for your company, or you don't want to go out and do your market research because, it's too difficult.
Right.
But you need to do it because nobody's going to do it for you. And then you're going to have nobody but to blame other than yourself when you don't finish that. And then you wonder why you're so far behind in starting your business opportunity.
Exactly.
I don't want to go on about it again, but I'm telling you, I did this vision board.
Yeah.
We did a recording on it. I have it right beside me in my office. And those days when shit gets tough, I look at the board and I see all the headings. I see all the pictures I've cut out, all the words and phrases that are there. And I remind myself, stop being a little whiny baby.
Yeah.
Look at what you want. Look at what your desire is and your accomplishments are. And seeing this every day helps me.
Yeah.
It might not be for everyone, but I did break it down in one of the other episodes there. And maybe people need that visualization present in their everyday life as a reminder. Dave and I spoke about at the very early onset of the Making Waves Mindset show, courtesy of Dustin, the 3190. What are your 90-day objectives? What are your 1-year objectives? And what are your 3-year objectives? What are your goals to accomplish? And constantly reevaluate those things.
Yeah.
If you don't see that in front of you and you're having a terrible day, you're going to let that weak voice tell your mind, tell your mental clarity to cloud up and to fizzle away.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. So maybe something like that is the way to go.
Right.
But I think your story speaks very highly of the fact that you didn't. And I remember when you told me it happened too. And you right away the next day were getting on the elliptical, you were walking, you were doing some type of strength training within reason.
Yeah,
and that's important.
The one thing that I want everyone to know that it takes time to build this.
Yes.
I wasn't like this August of last year or before August of last year. I was getting to this point, but it's taken time. Yeah. It's taken a long time, right? We're almost a year into the 75 Hard program, and it's taken me this time to realize that it's actually working. And
it's those daily habits though.
Yeah, very much.
Like
so.
We continue to talk about the discipline and the habits. Maybe people don't understand those things, but if you get up every day at the same time, that's a little discipline and habit that's going to have some level of neatness and organization later on in your day. That's right. And people think it's going to be the stop and drop everything tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm only having proteins and salads. I'm only going to do this. I'm going to run 5. It doesn't work like that because, by the second week, something's going to change. You need to have something that's sustainable to build up to the daily discipline that
Right.
will get you through the uncomfortable.
That's right.
Because we're dealing with something right now where there's a huge hurdle that we have to get over in our business opportunity, but we've broke it down to baby steps. And that's probably what inspired me on my video the other day about breaking it down from the top of that mindset, going to the top of the mountain. Okay, what are you trying to accomplish? And come back down. But because we've already instilled some of those habits. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect either.
Mm-hmm.
There are little, flakes of flaws there where some days that weaker voice comes in, but I'm cognizant of it and I'm making the change because it happens to everyone.
Yeah. Especially if you can acknowledge it. And that's I think the biggest thing is knowing when that weaker mind, we got to name it.
What are we going to call it?
I don't know.
What are you going to call it?
We'll figure it out. For another episode.
So we can make a reference and then everyone's going to know,
Right? We got to name it. I don't want to give it a derogatory name.
No.
There's a lot of people use, like, they call it the bitch voice and they call it, other. I don't want to call it that. We'll think of one. Anyways, just being able to acknowledge that voice, though, being able to listen to it and say, yeah, this is the time that they're talking about. This is that person on my shoulder telling me not to do something, and being able to acknowledge it. And it's almost being self-aware that is there, instead of just allowing it to take over your mind. That's what the biggest hurdle is.
It's like, it's the inaction voice,
right?
It's the inaction voice. Take control. It doesn't want you to do anything. It wants you to sit and stream streaming services all evening long instead of, wondering why. And it ties back to our episode the other day about, we were talking about Elon Musk and people's mindset and relationship to success.
It's the naysayers, right?
It's the naysayers.
It's everyone. It's not just one thing. It's not the one who says eat the pie. It's not the one that says don't work out. You've worked out hard this week. It's not the one that says you've done so much on your business today. Take a break today. It's everything. It's the people who this voice is the people who don't want you to succeed, the people who don't like you, the people who talk bad about you. It's your own self giving you rewards. It's your body being lazy. It's your mind being lazy. It's all wrapped up into this. It's a negative thing. It's a negative thing. And it's the ability to listen to it, understand where it's coming from, and then overcome it. That is the biggest thing. It's overcoming those negative thoughts. It's overcoming those small things.
I feel what our listeners and viewers can do to also limit the flood of those thoughts is also seeing your network. Who's in your friend circle? Those people who are not motivated and will complain all day long, but they'll never provide a solution or are willing to take action. We hear those people. We talk about the success of others, and all they can say is, well, I wish I had this. I wish I did that. Must be nice. But those are the people that are going to continue to flood you when you least expect it and will enable that weakness.
Right.
And I would encourage you to even go through your social media. Who's in your tribe? Is it the Making Waves Mindset Show? Is it our community? Are you surrounding yourself with the right mentors? Is social media a tool, or is it a way for you to fall down the rabbit hole?
Yeah.
Who's in your friend circle? We've talked about it, Dave. You will lose friends.
Yes.
And your family will disconnect with you. I'm telling you, it will happen.
Yes.
Be prepared. But that's part of the mental grit and toughness.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let it bother me. That's okay. I'm doing my own thing. We are in charge of our destiny. That's what Aaron spoke about on the previous episode.
Right.
Adrian spoke about on a previous episode. It's you are in charge of your destiny, right? Be resilient and don't let these individuals allow those floodgates to keep coming, because every time you have a tough going, who are you going to consult?
That's right.
Go call your friend and you're going to bitch and whine about, oh, it's tough. And they're going to just enable. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, don't exercise. Don't go do what you have to do. So really start looking at what you're following, what you're reading, what you're putting up here, because it's also the mental aspect, including the physical aspect, and who's in your friends circle.
Misery loves company, right?
Misery loves company. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Make
should
a
have
change.
people. You should have people in your circle, in your tribe, that will challenge you. You should have people
like
out
that.
there who, when you
I like
call
that.
and say, I don't feel like going to the gym today, who turn around and say, get your ass up, go to the gym.
Yeah.
That's what you want from your friends. You don't want them to be like, oh, you worked hard this week. You don't want them to coddle you.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
No.
Because you can do that yourself.
And I
It's that
think we're
voice,
seeing that.
right? It's
It
that
is. We're
voice.
seeing that. We're seeing that in society where we're allowing people to become softer, softer. You need to remain tough. And, Dave, we've done that for each other,
Yeah.
and you've put me in my spot a few times, like, shut up, go, get this stuff done. You're like, okay, yeah, you're right. But you need those support mechanisms there. We've said it 100 times. Your net worth is your network.
Yep.
Okay. So the top 5 people you surround yourself with, you will become a product of that group.
That's
and
right.
if there are people who aim for the bottom and want to do the bare minimum, you're going to become a bare minimum bottom bleacher. I'm sorry. You want to be successful, start surrounding yourself with those successful people.
That's right.
We do it and we see the results. We now know if we need something or we have a question, we can pick up a phone and get the right information, the right mindset, the right support.
Yeah. And it's impartial.
It's
unbiased.
Unbiased.
Right?
Yeah. So let us know if you have any conundrums that you're in, you want to share some ideas or thoughts, we're here. And we can always take time to put you in the right direction if you need that. If you have any, sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, share your stories.
Yeah.
Share your stories of mental gritness. I would love to hear somebody else's story about how our journey has helped you along, how our advice has helped you along, how you've gone through something that, you've listened to that voice, which we'll name later, and how that's changed you. Give us your stories. Let us know.
And I think, Dave, this might be a great opportunity that we get some good stories here. Let's share it on the air. And if it's a banger of a story, let's get you on to talk about what you did to climb that mountain and to accomplish that unnamed voice.
We'll come up with
a good name. All right, everyone. You know where to find us.
Yes.
makingwavesmindset.com. As usual, we want you to continue to dream bigger. Don't let your dreams get squashed. You need to make waves. You got to rustle the waters and splash aggressively to get ahead. And you need to take action. Dave, where can we find you?
Find me on Instagram, David A. Moskowitz.
And you're also on LinkedIn too.
Oh yes,
we're going to start plugging LinkedIn.
Okay, yes, let's go for LinkedIn. David Moskowitz for sure on LinkedIn.
We're finding people wanting to see where we are there, and you can find me, yours truly, Richard DiBiase, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn as well. So share a comment, write a review, share the love,
subscribe, send it to someone who wants to listen, who doesn't know about our show, who might be in the same journey, who might be thinking of the same journey. If you're enjoying it, subscribe, listen again, leave a comment. Leave those comments. We want to hear what you're saying. We want to hear from you. Make waves, dream bigger. And if you're not enjoying this episode, like I always say, send it to someone who might.
That's right. We'll take care, everyone. We'll talk to you
Have a good
on
day.
the next episode.